Well, the biggest question of the week has its answer. Welcome to Orchard Park, where the big game chill in the air. We've got the 7-1 Minnesota Vikings and the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Welcome inside with the two-time Super Bowl champion Daryl Johnston. I'm Joe Davis. That roar you heard coming from Orchard Park about an hour ago was from this crowd when Josh Allen came out of the locker room, and they got the answer they've been hoping for all week since he injured his elbow last Sunday.
And there's a lot of different people that weighed in on that decision to allow Josh Allen to play today. And you have to understand, they are not going to do anything to risk the future of this franchise, which has put itself in a position to be one of the Super Bowl favorites. Now, are we going to see the same Bills offense today? I would hope not. He's averaging 37 attempts through the course of the start of the season. Let's find out about that run game. Let's find out about the second and third wide receiver in this offense.
Let's find out about the Minnesota Vikings, right? Because they're 7-1, a great story here halfway through the season, but still have their doubters. People say, yeah, but they only win games that are really tight, and they haven't played anybody. But doesn't today feel like a chance to validate everything?
Is it a win or win? It doesn't matter, right? There's no style points. Why do you have to explain yourself at 7-1? The big reason is they don't have that signature win. Their one win against a team with a winning record, the Miami Dolphins. Tua was not in that game. You win here at this venue with Josh Allen on the field, that's your signature win.
Can't wait for this one. We've got the Bills and the Vikings next on Fox.
Heard they was sleeping again, saying no more. This is a rude awakening, kicking the door. Back and I'm better than ever before. Don't get in the state and I'm ready for war. I see the ice and I'm up in the score. I get your body to jump in the course. Follow the course, back to the morgue. Take the sheet off and I kill her some more.
Here's today's By the Numbers, brought to you by Sleep Number. How about Justin Jefferson coming off his 19th career 100-yard receiving game? That's already tied for the most through 3 seasons in NFL history, and he's still got a half a season to play.
Welcome back. I'm Pam Oliver. Well, I spoke to Sean McDermott before the game, and I asked him what went into the decision to play Josh Allen. He told me that he couldn't really answer the question, that it would be unfair, but the matter is complicated. I then spoke to someone else in the organization who said based on Friday's practice, Josh Allen looked good enough and that he was medically cleared. Now, someone very happy about all this news is Stephon Diggs. The wide receiver called Allen a dog. He said, I still can't believe that he's playing, but he sure is happy he is. Joe.
All right, Pam, and these division leaders ready to face off with the Vikings 7-1 out in the clear in the NFC North. Different picture in the AFC East, where the Bills are still in first place. All 4 teams above 500 in the surprisingly deep and tight division race. Vikings won the toss, deferred to the second half, so the Bills will get it. We get to see Josh Allen right away. Duke Johnson just elevated from the practice squad. Back to return the kick from Greg Joseph. And off we go in Orchard Park as the Vikings try to get their 7th consecutive win. They're 7-1 for the first time since 2009, all in tight fashion. And they've opened up a 4.5-game lead in the NFC North. They've got 7 wins. The other 3 teams have 8 wins combined. Obviously be a completely different Bills team had Josh Allen not been able to play today. Highest percentage of his team's yards, and it's a who's who of quarterbacks in the NFL. Brady, Allen, and Mahomes, all about 80% of their team's total yards, whether that's what they do, running the ball or throwing it.
Thank you, Joe. Jags, Chiefs, scoreless in the first. Patrick Mahomes with time finds his new target, Kadarius Toney, who's going to hop into the end zone. Hard to believe that's his first ever touchdown in the league. Chiefs up 7-0. Joe?
This is great TV, huh? This is sweet.
I feel so Pam Oliver down. She has had one of the worst starts to a season weather-wise.
We're up here saying great TV. She's down there saying it's cold, and it is. But Justin Jefferson is on the verge of becoming the first guy to have 20 100-yard receiving days in his first 3 years, and he's still got a half a season to play.
These are just great routes, and this is really impressive right here. You know, they'll talk about late hands. You know, he gets his hands up late, so you're kind of preventing Dane Jackson with his back to the ball and not getting his head around to track it to give him any clue that the football is on its way.
Let's go down to Pam.
Well, Joe, for the Minnesota Vikings, this will be their 4th away game of the season. That's worth mentioning because they believe this will be the toughest environment yet. Head coach Kevin O'Connell knows success will depend on how well his team handles the harsh setting. He told us, we haven't faced an environment like this yet. Despite that, he's excited for it. He's excited to see if the Vikings can remain efficient and execute at a high level when those Bills fans are really going crazy. The weather not an issue so far, even though it's all over the place, guys.
We are cleared hot for the Verizon halftime show, live from Al Udeid Air Base in Doha, Qatar. Coming up, we're going full throttle with highlights and climbing high for analysis.
That and a bunch of touchdowns.
What you do with the catchphrase?
All right, and our salute to service weekend here on Fox. 17-10, Bills in front. Entertaining first half. Josh Allen answering all the questions. 24-10, the Bills in front, trying to move to 7-2, trying to snap the Vikings' 6-game winning streak. It's the Verizon halftime in Qatar on the other side of this break. That was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. 24-10, the Bills in front as we get ready to start this second half. And the Bills have not lost a game at home when leading by 14 points at halftime since 1968. And yeah, the Vikings have had a bunch of comeback wins this season, but trying to craft some long history in that regard. And for the Bills, Daryl, I mean, they had hoped that they would have Josh Allen. Then they got him, and you wondered what it would look like. I mean, this is as good as you could expect.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
There's really no difference. And, you know, I know there was a lot of apprehension about Josh Allen coming into this game. Is he going to play? If he does, how will they play? Will they do anything differently? That's the big thing. If he's going to play, Josh Allen is going to play like Josh Allen. There are no restrictions. And even the throws, we talked about it right at the top. He's averaging 37 attempts per game so far this season. He's on pace for 36, so nothing has really changed there. I think the big thing, Minnesota's been great stealing points at the end of the half. They didn't. Buffalo did. What do they do on this opening drive?
Kene Wangu is pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. We go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, I asked Kevin O'Connell just how do you claw your way out of this? He said, we got to get you some points to where we can sustain some drives. Keep it close. Get to that fourth quarter where they feel they are especially dangerous. Josh Allen's presence and performance. I asked Sean McDermott, tell me about that. What is it about that? He says guys are just making plays for him. You can see it. You can sense it. He said, as far as the rest of this half goes, well, we got to know. Minnesota knows how to claw its way back. Back to you.
It's just so impressive to watch Christian Benford today. He's growing up quick this afternoon. He's holding his own. They're making some catches, but I tell you, he's in great position. He's just going to have to now trust everything and start to make some plays on that football.
Let's go, Buffalo! Fire in the hole!
And Salute to Service is a year-round effort by the NFL and its long-standing military and veteran support partners to honor, empower, and connect with our nation's military community. Learn about the NFL's impact work with its Salute to Service partners by visiting NFL.com/salute. Special teams coach for the Bills, Matthew Smiley, is a U.S. Air Force veteran. Thank you to Coach Smiley and all the veterans out there for your service. By the way, our Bills fan there, they brought us back from break, blowing something up in the background, and then there's four dudes standing like halfway to the explosion, just standing there without their masks and their helmets up. They're giving me a heads up.
I know, right? Where's my stuff? Just in case.
And Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Joe. Bears up 17-10. Justin Fields already has 2 touchdowns today. Fine time. Airs this one out. Cole Kmet, the recipient. Bears leading this one 24-10. Joe.
Boy, that. They'll start Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday on Fox. 4th-ranked TCU tries to build off yesterday's big win at Texas and stay in playoff position, taking on Baylor, all starting at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Big Noon kickoff crew live from Waco, and then TCU Baylor, noon Eastern on Fox. The 9th catch of the day for Stephon Diggs. The most impressive yet. It'd be hard to ever have one more impressive than that. His 4th quarter starts with it. You can see the angst on Kevin O'Connell's face. These are the kinds of things they've not had to do this year. This is part of how they've won all these close games, is they've managed the timeouts. They've managed the clock so well.
But I think Buffalo puts so much pressure on you that sometimes you fall out of that comfort zone. I just watching everything leading up to this game and seeing how they've played and then seeing it here in this environment, we were wondering how they were going to respond. Even Kirk Cousins, you know, never having played here before during the course of a regular season game, it is so challenging, and we've seen it everywhere, getting in and out of the huddle at the line of scrimmage. You're not going to be able to do audibles there because you're so worried about that information getting across the entire front. So they have made it challenging, and the big one is these timeouts, because they're going to need them if they're going to be able to get back into this game or pull this game out. And this crowd has forced them to use all their timeouts.
Break with Carissa.
Thank you so much. I'm letting you know that Dak Prescott and company on the road in Lambeau. First time Mike McCarthy is back there. Meanwhile, his former quarterback Aaron Rodgers and the Packers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. It's America's Game of the Week, and it's all coming up next.
That is unthinkable. 5-game escape for the Packers. That follows us. Cowboys, Packers with KB, Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi. 3rd and 4 here for the Vikings from midfield. Vikings win the toss. They look for the touchdown and the knockout blow. Feels like there's already been several knockout blows. Both teams only to steady themselves and punch right back. Well, we get extra football in this one, 30-30. Can anybody handle that? Can anybody handle more of this? What a game it's been. 7-1 Vikings trying to validate that 7-1 start, looking for a signature win. It would be yet another comeback win. The Bills trying to go to 7-2. Vikings with the all-important win of the coin toss. And so they've got it with a chance to win this game with a touchdown. We're going to bring our rules expert, Dean Blandino, in. Looking back to one of the last plays of regulation. Dean, should this have been stopped on this, what was ruled a completion to Gabe Davis?
Absolutely. 20-yard completion. We're in the last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. No coach's challenge. That has to come from the replay booth. And this is too big a play not to stop. And as you can see on this shot, Davis is going to the ground. He does get his knees down in bounds, but he doesn't maintain control. The ball hits the ground, comes loose. That's an incomplete pass.
To drive. Bills on the move. This quarterback battle, Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins back and forth. The Bills tied for the best record in the AFC. The 2 losses in the division, the Dolphins and the Jets, still 6-2. And in this heavyweight bout, the Vikings with the knockout blow. The Vikings win the game of the year. Second pick for Peterson. Ends this one in overtime.
And I don't know what he's he sees, he's got him underneath. There's no reason to make that throw. That is the 4th red zone interception in the last 2 weeks for Josh Allen. It's just, I mean, he had 2 in the previous, 67 games?
Yeah.
And he's had 4 in the last 2 weeks.
For all his brilliance on this day, he threw for 329 yards and ran for close to 100. It's an interception in overtime that ends it. What a game this was. America's Game of the Week keeps a great day going on Fox on the other side of this break.